Alright, I'm Sir Tap Tap, and welcome back to Senran Kagura Estival Versus. This is story mode. I'm just starting in chapter 3 just because I'm not actually sure where I left off. Just as a note for those watching the VOD and stuff, a review copy of this was provided by Xseed Games. So I actually own 3 copies that I paid for myself. 2 Japanese and the PS4 release of the English. That's right, Parker. So I played this game in English at first when I got the English version, and then I just went to finish it up in the... I copied over my Japanese save, which you can actually do with, that's right, Parker. With, what's it called? Cloud save thingy. Cross save. I accidentally overwrote my story progress, so I don't know where I was exactly. Parky. I'm just gonna replay some stuff here. Parky! Down. I love her country bumpkin. This is Grandma that's talking. Grandma Hanzo. He has a delightful country bumpkin voice. Parky? Hey, excuse me? Please do not obscure the microphone with your butt. It's rude. I know this game is all about butts, but it's not about your butt, Parker. Oh, right, this is the part where things get serious. So, the last chapter, the first chapter in this game, pretty good. Parker, would you please get down? There you go. So the first chapter is pretty alright. The second chapter is just Haruka being garbage, basically. And then so Granny Hanzo comes here and she decides to show everybody, well, what she's showing them right now, to panic them a bit into actually doing their freaking job. Yeah, big old demon in the sky. And it makes sense because before this point, you know, everybody's just, you know, enjoying the beach because they're in this frozen time, wonderful beach vacation land. But they have a job to do, and they haven't been doing it. I'm not going to read the text aloud. You're going to have to read fast. Leave the text up a little bit. The best part of this game is that the Asuka versus Homura trash fight, it's the most subdued it is in the entire series. I don't even know if they actually fight at all. You only play as Homura once, thankfully. I don't even dislike Homura, she's just so overused. And the whole rivalry thing is so overplayed. Ridiculous. I'm skipping a little. Unfortunately, there's no button that like skips straight to the chapter. You can scroll back. Oh yeah, you just press the up button. Not all of the story segments are this long. This is the start of a chapter. But I will be reading the story stuff. That's kind of what you're playing. It's kind of weird to have played a game in its entirety, but you don't know what the heck happened for the most part. Unfortunately, this is almost all dialogue stuff. Like, it's almost a visual novel with its you know, amount of text to cutscene content. And In Japanese, I don't get any of that. Good point. But, so I beat the game and almost got the platinum in Japanese, but then I still have to replay it entirely because I didn't understand a goddamn thing. It's unfortunate the lip sync. Well, there isn't lip sync. And the lip animations are pretty bad, but the voice acting is actually superb. They get some really good actresses. So they're currently in kind of the land of the dead. That's sort of the whole story here. So that's why we're gonna meet some characters that are, past relatives, fathers, that kind of crap. That's why people are sort of hesitant to actually do their job and kill this big old Yoma. Yoma's a demon, by the way. Anyway, Emo has to beat some sense in everybody. I think that's how this goes. See, look at these brats. One weird thing is the nose smudge is it feels a little low res compared to most of the toon shading is really good in this, but the nose just looks a little blurry. Chat's off to a slow start. Mother's Bond. Don't tell me I play as her. Oh crap! I forgot to pick the character that the story was for. Oh man, I forget what button that is. I didn't want to play as this garbage can. So when you replay the story levels, you have a chance to you can replay any story levels, any Shinobi, which is actually a big upgrade over Shinobi versus, where you could only pick on a replay. You could pick anyone from that same school, and it was just like a ridiculous arbitrary restriction. There's a lot of problems with how Shinobi versus structures itself, and this game just completely fixes basically all of that. So this is supposed to be Emu beating up all of the Hanzo members. But we can only fight 3 at once because this game was initially designed for the Vita, unfortunately. And it can't quite hold all 5 characters in memory, so it only holds 4. And we actually know that the PS4 version could hold more because the PS4's online mode goes up to 10 players. So if this game were PS4 only, we would be able to have some cooler fights. There's a lot of poison bombs for some reason. Feel free to chat at any point, chat. That's what you're for. Alright, we have to transform. I was gonna try to get some people to do, I forget what the hell it's called. There's a 4-player cooperative mode, and I know a few people with this game that I could play it with, but too short of notice to arrange it tonight, pretty much. For anyone wondering, I'm pretty sure you can turn off those transformations. I know you can turn off the clothes ripping. Just sort of speed things up a bit. What is your level? Oh right, it's complete garbage. I forgot. But everything Haruka does is garbage. Sorry, we'll get away from this awful character very soon after I finish this. Also, I think I left this on easy mode, fortunately. Look how pathetic the range on that is. That costs 5 meters, by the way. Well, I'm thinking of it. What are you doing, Parker? do this finisher here. Get over here. There we go. You know, something about this first like 20 minutes of streaming where no one is here, like when I do my uploads, nobody's there for the entire time and it doesn't matter, but I really hate this start of streaming where nobody's here because I kind of expect to be able to bounce off chat a little bit, but got nothing, I guess. They're supposed to be defeating each other's festival platforms. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is with that. One of the teams wins when they destroy everyone else's festival platforms. So, not sure exactly what the honor of winning. I think they actually fight the Yoma, which is it's just great. Correct. Miyabi has the biggest hair. Look at that. She's like from the 80s. I actually had to adjust the ears on her just to get them to fit because her hair is just so huge. Barbecue. Odd important food comas as well. Alright, there's text. Let's leave that on. Oh good, Skype has updated their terms. Ryobi is slightly less than a nice, or Ryobi is slightly less than a nice person. If not aware. Alright, put it on auto. I have to change difficulty and character. Is there a button to... I really wish this game had autosave. It's kind of ridiculous there are still games that don't have autosave. So I have to go through this menu every time. How do I pick the character? What is this? How do I pick the one that's just the story one? I think it says, oh yeah, it says it at the bottom, I guess. This one's Katsuragi. That's why I was hoping to load up my old save file, so I wouldn't have to worry about this stuff. I also just want to read the story. That's a very good face. I don't know why, but the camera pans in the visual novel sections kind of suck. They're oddly choppy. The actual combat animations are all pretty dang good. The actual cutscenes, animation, and camera work definitely still use a little work. Mostly the mouth talking bits. They really just need something to algorithmically do the mouth flapping. You would think that would be fairly easy with, you know, anime faces, because it doesn't really need to be perfectly simulate the lips exactly. I don't even have lips, they just have lines. This is the chapter where everyone decides they're gonna actually be serious and, you know, destroy the ancient evil like they're supposed to, because they're ninjas. They just kind of forgot about that. It happens. Sometimes you forget you're a ninja. That's fine. Ah, shut up, Asuka. Asuka literally has no brain function except for fighting Homura. That's all she can do. If she doesn't do that, she doesn't know how to do things. Like, if she forgets her bank account number, she has to go fight Homura so she can remember it. That's just how it works. Alright. I guess I should probably put it on hard, not on normal. See what difficulty I put it on. Katsuragi is kind of controversial, and I can see why, but I kind of wish, I really like a lot of aspects of her. For one thing, her voice is really great. And her attacks are really great, just, oh, hey Johnny YSP, I was wondering if you were gonna join. She has some good faces, too. Oh yeah, and the tactical panty shots are very strong on Katsu. I sometimes forget there's a run button in this game because I played so much of the Neptunia games by Tansoft. It's largely the same, but it's got a few different features, and one of them is that there's a dash but no run, and the dash is much better or longer in the Neptunia ones to sort of compensate for no run button. I love that split pose at the end there. Like I said, there's a lot of really good animations in this. They really went all out with the camera work in combat anyway, and the poses and stuff. They do some really cool, you know, fancy shonen anime style stuff. Okay. This is precious Snack. You must fight Snack. Yeah, you get used to no run button though. It doesn't really matter too much. The game's not really designed with it in mind, so you don't really do as much running around in the environment in that game as you do. Well, not against the big bosses. There's a couple of big levels in Blanc game that are really a pain to navigate for no particular reason. Like, there's no real reason. That big map of the school courtyard, like, I don't know why that's there. It's really not fun to traverse, and it's not really, like, there's no gameplay in between the rooms. It's pretty pointless. I don't know. It just always feels like the Neptunia side games don't get the budget they kind of deserve. I've said this several times, but I really just kind of wish they made an official crossover DLC with this game for Neptunia. Because they got pretty much all the parts, just, you know, add a bunch of Neptunia enemies, and of course the Neptunia cast. It's kind of weird they took out the stripping mechanic, and I guess, I wonder if people complained or something. In going from Neptunia U to Blanc game. Like it was a very important feature, but it actually, it was more functional in that game than it is in this game, because it gave you a free transformation or super when your clothes exploded, whereas it's entirely visual in this. I don't really mind it being entirely visual, honestly. Katsu's magic bra here. I love when the super dramatic cutscenes play out with the damaged clothes. It's perfect. Yeah, I think Neptunia U, how Neptunia U worked was fine. It's just, oh, I just noticed her top is wet. I'd never noticed that before. I didn't think that could happen. I wonder if it's only certain outfits or something, but that's pretty impressive. Or does her top always turn? No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't always turn transparent. I think it's because it's wet. That's neat. What was I talking about? Yeah, they just needed an option to turn off the clothing damage. Like, this game has an option to turn it off, but it unfortunately doesn't go far enough either. But yeah, this game's it has an option, but it doesn't disable those finishers like the soccer net we saw earlier. So if you turn it off here, you can do aerial combos for days. Oh, I guess. Huh. I never thought about. I didn't realize it would like affect gameplay like that. Because everybody got to be Chan anyway. There's this whole thing that Asuka goes into every single game about, we gotta fight our adversaries and we'll be friends that way and blah blah blah, we're Shinobi. It's like, one game, maybe two, it was okay, but this is all she does in every game. I just get really tired of her shtick. Like, and it's really weird for people, like, some people think the DS games are better, and it's like, no leader. She is no leader. Agreed. The bulk of the story in Senran Kagura 1 is just in the entirety of Asuka's monologue there, basically. A little more than that, obviously, but I'm gonna go hit Grandma with my feelings. I remember that one. This game's actually pretty funny. It's one of the reasons I like it. I wouldn't like this nearly as much if it had no sense of humor. Once again, no autosave. So annoying. So yeah. Things are there per day. Day 2 is like, I guess it's not particularly longer. It just felt longer. But day 2, she just ruins Haruka. Just awful. You get to play as Snack for this one. The order of the characters is so weird. Yeah. Hard. Like how you can tell which one sending them off is Fiona, because her voice is like 8 octaves higher. Fiona's voice actress is so good. I don't think we could get an English voice actress to do that half as good. So I usually prefer English voices. I don't think this game could get away. Poor Mira. Oh yeah, I forgot she calls her Yomi like her sister. It's weird. Yomi is not a good cook. Mine's got a pretty good voice too. Everyone has fine-ass beat. Yeah, everyone has really good voice work in this game. I'm kind of amazed they have the budget for it. I wouldn't even mind Haruka if she weren't, like, gross. Like, her being vindictive and, like, slightly sadistic would be alright, but she's just gross. Hey, Johnny Boy SP, have you played the online in this at all? I don't think I actually have. I usually don't bother too much with online stuff. I've only played it in Grand Kingdom because you only fight AIs. I see you, silent Twitch chatters. I see you. Well, you're not chatters. That's the problem. You lurking. Oh, you haven't tried the online either? Yeah, I'm just not one for online. I just do lots of stuff. Like, even just streaming, it's a lot more effort than they usually put into stuff. Like, I just like to do other stuff while I play games. That's why I don't like games that don't let me pause, like, for reals. Like, make me do it in a safe place or something, sure, whatever, but I think the worst pause system that I'm willing to put up with is the one in Patapon 3. You have to play a song and sacrifice 2 beats, but you can pause. And you will probably mess up the beat after you unpause the game, because you're just out of it. The Hikage is a Vulcan, except she's like a Vulcan, but like just like Vulcans, she does have things that are clearly emotions, but you know, she acts very calm, so the writers just pretend she doesn't have emotions because they get the meaning of that word. Like Spock is always like fascinating, but fascination isn't a. Yeah, these two are rivals because Hikage is really dumb and Imu is a different kind. Like, they both misinterpret each other. They're both very pig-headed. I see you lurking. Loading times are unfortunately a lot worse on Vita, I guess. I didn't get a Vita review copy of this, and I wasn't gonna buy a second Vita copy. And I also wasn't going to open my... I have a limited edition Vita copy from Japan, but I wasn't going to open it just to test performance and be like, okay, yep, this is not nearly as good as the 10 times as powerful system. That's... I'll just go ahead and assume this is by far the better version. And I really especially don't need to because I played Shinobi Versus, and I mean... A lot of the upgrade in this game is just because the game plays so much smoother, looks so much smoother. They got a new toon shader, which looks a lot better, and they did some upgrading of the graphics. Well, a lot of upgrading for the graphics because, you know, this isn't just a Vita game upscaled or up-resed. They redid all of the environments. A lot of people give them shit because a lot of the environments are remakes from from Shinobi Versus. They're not the same actual things, though. All of the textures and everything are redone. So, it's sort of like they're remade versions of all of the original stuff, plus a bunch of new ones. The city one's the new one. You can tell it's next-gen because it has wet pavement. Wet pavement is the definitive next-gen graphical feature. I don't know if you've noticed that. I guess it's been less so lately, but for a while there, for like in 2013 and stuff, everything had to have the wet next-gen pavement. What is this that staff thingy called that Donatello has? I don't think there's anybody that uses one of those. Is it like a bow staff, I think? Surprisingly, no one that I can think of Oh, yes, current gen. But I mean, at the time, it was next gen. Though, I mean, it's sort of weird when you're, calling a console you have next gen. Yeah, bow staff. That's... Pretty sure that's what DTale uses. I don't think we have any users of those. It's really surprising the diversity of weapons the Senran Kagura Estival has. You know, we've got a bunch of blades. We've got Mira, who uses 7 swords. We've got Asuka, who uses the 2 wakizashi. We have Imu with the 1 big katana. And we've got Hikage with her big old knife here. But there's a lot of crazy stuff. Like, you know, she's got her hair shuriken. Imu. Oh, Imu has the bow staff. Right. Never mind. We have a bow staff right there. She's actually one of my favorites, attack animation wise. I don't know why I couldn't think of her. I know why, because there's like 30 characters in this game. But they have a surprising amount of. I love the infinity symbol for attack there, though. It's kind of funny that I guess it still fits. She's ex Hejibo. The infinity snake thing is Hejibo's sort of symbol. Fun fact, Murasaki has the largest cup size in the series. Just highly relevant facts that I memorize. Okay. Oh yeah, but they do an impressive amount of variety with the characters, and that's something that's really great about the series. And the series sort of goes, oh damn. The series is great at fan service in all sorts of respects. Like, it's not just, the pervy stuff. It's also got, it's got the variety of weapons. It's got the variety of personalities, of hobbies, of, it has a different voice actress for every single character. I don't tend to favor any specific person. Hikage is pretty fun. There's really only just a few characters I don't like playing as. I don't like playing as, Minori is my absolute least favorite in every regard. I don't like playing as her even. Oh no, we need to KO somebody near this sign. Oh, come on. I actually rather like, Yomi in, this game. That should work. Excellent. They actually added a lot of these finishers in updates that it feels like it's all included on the disc in the English version, but it's actually, stuff they added after the release. Yeah, that's one thing about this game. You could definitely remove all of the pervy elements and you still have a really great game. That's right, Parker. There's just a ton of different variety in costumes that, unfortunately, I guess for the whole Sentai sort of show thing, it makes sense that they all have, boring uniforms for their default clothes, and then they transform into their cool ones. But, that's right, Parker. But, everybody has, unique clothes, unique outfit, unique personality. There's a very, very little overlap in personality. Like, there's Hikage, or not Hikage, there's the dorky girl on Hanzo, Hibari, and Minori kind of feel largely the same niche, but they're still a little different. They have totally different weapons, of course. Parky! There's actually very few characters that are perverted. There's a few couples, but, there's really only Katsuragi, sort of Imu. Imu's not even really a pervert. She's just horny for, Miyabi. So there's really just Riona, Haruka, and Katsuragi that are perverts out of a cast of, like, 30 characters. So, there's unfortunately Hanzo, Old Man Hanzo. He's awful. I don't think he's in this game at all, though, which is a strong plus. A lot of people, before they play the game, definitely only pay attention to the perv stuff, and a lot of reviews treat it like it's only the perv stuff, but I think pretty much everyone that plays the game, tends to realize, oh, it's actually pretty cool. Yeah, Imu does not like Snack. Parky, please, just sit down. Alright, my cat is being difficult. Yeah, just sit down. Yeah, thank you. It's kind of funny. This game has an overwhelmingly positive on Steam, and that is pretty dang rare. The sort of game that, you know, a few years ago, well, maybe like 10 years ago, people were like, oh no, that'll never come over to the United States, you know, that won't sell. You can't just do that. And then, nope, sells great. I mean, I don't know the exact sales stuff, but try. Leave it on hard. But, he's mentioned but not shown. Yeah, that sounds about right. They keep all the guys out of this one. Well, there's one guy, but I don't mind his inclusion. There's only Hanzo that I really mind. He's awful. I kind of wish he would kick the bucket, honestly. Also, I find it kind of funny, because the game is all like physics-based clothing and stuff, the game doesn't do this ridiculous like boob slot outfit. You know, the sort of quote-unquote skin-tight outfits where, you know, the clothing goes like right into the cleavage that like it's physically impossible unless you have boob slots. It actually doesn't do that because all of the clothing is, you know, modeled physics-wise. Though they kind of cheat with some of the outfits. If you put Mirai's outfit on a busty character, it looks ridiculous. Or vice versa. Certain clothes are designed to be stretched by boobs, and they look really weird on the flat characters. Which there's only 2 of. They have PTSD from retail. Kafuru time! They've been living a life of retail, which is pretty much worse than death. Yeah, it definitely, if you like Neptunia, you'd probably like this game, and vice versa. They both have a lot of the same sort of humor. This game doesn't have the self-aware or parody aspects. Well, it has some of the anime parody aspects, but not the, you know, the gaming parody stuff. But they're both strongly focused on humor and characterization. They're both extremely silly. I guess that goes with the humor. And that's something I really like about this game. It just, the whole feel of the game is that everything in the game is about having fun. And, you know, there's a dramatic story in there, but, you know, it's just, everything is about being happy. And Kafuru is best. Oh, wrecked. You're a tiny bab. And yeah, there's what's his name? Urakage? The Gessen grandpa. How could you not know who is taller? Yeah, Kafuru is great. She's basically me. Just a massive. I don't like boob jokes too much. Like, boobs are too small jokes are usually bad, but that was amazing. Man, what is that guy's name? I know it's Grandpa Gessen. Barage, I think. Something like that. It's not exactly that. It's just his, like, spirit or whatever. He's not actually shown in a 3D model, but he was never even shown in Shinobi either. They probably just didn't bother giving him one. Battle system. Yeah, if you play any Musuo games, the battle system would be fairly similar, though it doesn't do the control elements or like the map traversal. Kefuru is so good. I guess she's a little weird to play as. All the range characters are a little weird, but she's the penguin. I didn't used to like Mirai, but and I still don't appreciate the teddy bear panties, but I love her. I don't know if you saw that well, but she has a giant machine gun under her dress. Except it's still there when her dress is removed, so really just hammer space. But she's basically the penguin, which is excellent. She's like a cat penguin. I'm not a fan of there being guys in these games. Like, look at how Hanzo basically ruins everything the moment he's in there. They just get too tempted to put in shitty tropes, and like I was ranting about on Twitter a bit earlier, Japanese gender role stuff is kind of just awful. So even if it's kind of a cheap way to keep things sane, I just kind of prefer that it be all girls because it keeps them from doing a lot of shitty stuff. I wouldn't mind an all-male, an all-male Senran Kagura. That's what I thought Uppers was gonna be, but Uppers is basically the reason I don't want guys in this game, honestly. It's got these gross scenes where you grope women for health or something. It seems consensual, but it's still gross and dumb. And, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I thought it was just gonna be basically a, what's that called? Bara. Like, I thought it was gonna be Bara Senran Kagura. I mean, why the hell not, you know? But it's not. It's like this weird halfway measure. It's like, I don't know who you're pleasing with that. The age really isn't the factor. Well, age kind of matters with Hanzo because he's, he's the pervy old man trope, which is garbage. But if he was a young man perv, he would still be garbage. Just a different kind of garbage. Guess I may as well use this level 5. And it's gone. And I'm stuck in a thing. I can't move. Oh, I love the when it drops the nuke, it leaves a cat face print. A lot of the characters' ending poses actually look really cool as long as their clothes are totally intact. They obviously look a little silly otherwise. They do really good with stuff with the poses in this. Valkyrie Drive is like that too. I was hoping to get I was hoping to review the English version of Valkyrie Drive. I'm not sure if I'm going to get that or not. I'll get the game, I mean, but I'm not sure I'm going to get the review copy, and I'm not sure if... Like, they only sell the physical copies through Rice Digital, and the shipping charge is $30 to send it to the US. It's like... That's crazy. I pay less shipping from friggin' Japan. Like, I know Japan... I just don't like that. Oh, and you know what? Hibari does this whole, lovable idiot thing, but Hanabi just does it so much better. She does it while just being kind of genuinely dumb and not the whole, she's childish and innocent and meh. I kind of hate that sort of weird. It's weird. I don't like it. But I really like Hanabi. She's definitely the best lovable idiot in the cast. I don't tend to like characters that, their personality is that they're dumb and that's their defining personality trait. But Hanabi does it pretty well. And she likes explosions. She's got her hammer. Her hammer makes her pretty awesome. She's really hard to play with, unfortunately. But she's so cool. This Shinobi. Is that, like, something that XC does on Twitter or something? I don't tend to pay attention to most contest things. I know I'm never gonna win them. Oh, this is a replay. I wanted to play my English file, but I realized I played this game first in Japanese. This one I show me. Oh yeah, Kurokage. That's the one guy that's in this game. That's why I'm playing on hard. I played this game in Japanese first, and I beat the whole game and most of the side stories. Excuse me. And then I got an English, and I started an English file, and then I just decided to download my Japanese file and finish up. You know, I wanted to get the platinum, but unfortunately, I accidentally saved over my English file, so I have to play over everything in my Japanese file, which it's gonna be a bit easier, and it's a little harder to select where I was. Like I've played most of this already. I forget exactly where I was. It's a multiplayer fashion contest in game. Oh, is that? Huh. I don't, like I said earlier in the stream, I don't play the online stuff at all. I wanted a team of 4. If anybody has this game on PS4, I would like to assemble a group of 4 people to play the tower defense mode. I have at least one, Johnny Boy SP, and a friend of mine on Twitter at least. If you want to send me a message on Twitter or something, or on YouTube, if you have this on PS4 and want to help me with the stream. Yeah, Kurokage's back. So let's play on auto. The files don't directly work between languages, but if you upload to SharePlay, or to, not SharePlay, to the cross save and then re-download, it works across regions and platforms, so it's really great. Are you far too behind? Yeah. The 3 missing characters. Yeah, the missing characters are probably not going to happen. It's a licensing thing. It's the Battle Vixens characters, right? Very touching moment. You know, you have no idea how glad I am that they're doing this actually heartfelt grandfather thing and not the garbage. Oni-chan, I want to sleep in bed with Oni-chan. That's why I don't want guys in this game. That kind of garbage. But this is all right. I don't mind this. It's actually, there's a part with Minori later on that I kind of teared up a bit, and I hate Minori. I genuinely hate her. But there's a part with her that's pretty sad. Chaos Champuru. Oh yeah, Chaos Champuru. That's the Barker. It's basically Monster Monpiece, but with majorly downgraded graphics and all of the different compile heart characters. Monster Monpiece actually played really well in battle, and I might do a video on that to show off its battle system. I really like it. There's some other card games that do the same thing. I have no idea which game was first, because I only found more recent games that do it, but it's a really cool battle system. It's kind of a shame it was bogged down with the whole, oh, it's just a perv game, and then they had to cut some of the cards, and so nobody wants to buy it because it's censored. Then there's all this argument, and nobody talks about the game. You know, they just talk about the rubbing stuff, which is the worst part of the game. Even if you're a pervert, the rubbing stuff in that game, it's not entertaining. It's just crap. It's just grindy crap. The dressing room stuff in Senran Kagura is less, you know, it's totally optional, and if you want to perv out, go ahead. And it's less lame than the rubbing crap, so. That's all my opinion on that. US exclusive characters. That would just be mean, though. Alright, I'll let the story play. I don't want to talk over this part. Shut up, Minori.
ダメですよ。そこはわしです。じゃあこっち側は我が。じゃあ私は後ろからしがみつく。ユミちゃん、そんなとこ座ったら黒影おじいちゃんは前が見えないよ。私としたことが。
You've ruined it, Yumi.
最高の眺めじゃないか。
Why can't Hanzo be like Kurakage? Hanzo is such garbage. He's like the worst thing in this entire game. Well, he's not in this game. He's mentioned, but in Shinobi Versus, he's awful. He's surprisingly not that bad in the cooking minigame. But, he's actually funny and not a complete garbage bag in that game, but mostly because he doesn't talk, he just does judging. I haven't finished that game, by the way. I couldn't really get too into it. I don't like rhythm games. Or see speedruns. I mean, I watch AGDQ, and most of the people I follow on Twitch are speedrunners. Yeah, there's like one scene that's touching with Hanzo, but he's mostly garbage. See, why can't he be like this? What a good grandpa. He's 5 grandpas at once. I mostly follow speedruns on Twitch, and I don't really... I follow the Vinesauce guys, but I don't actually watch their streams. I watch them on YouTube. I watch their stream archives. I don't really... you know, I'm never there for their live streams. It doesn't really matter to me whether it's live or not. It's not like they interact with the chat anyway. I don't really blame them for it. I mean, how do you interact with the chat at that scale? I don't even know how speedrunners do it that are like, you know, a 10th that big. Heck, sometimes I miss messages and my chat's pretty quiet. And I got a feeling that a lot of reviewers for this game only played up to Chapter 2 because we got review copies for this game super late. We got them like 2 days before release. And that's kind of just... But anyway, at least my copy, I'm pretty sure we all got at the same time. Just 2 days before release. And a lot of the complaints people had about the story and stuff, it really felt like they had only played through about Chapter 2. And Chapter 2 is about where I played up to that point until there was the review stuff. And I put up my first impressions based mostly off the Japanese playthrough. But I wasn't going to call it a review after, you know, only playing through Chapter 2. And Chapter 2 is really bad, so it happens to be a really bad first impression. But there's some really good humor stuff in here. There's some really good emotional stuff later on. There's certain types of games that reviewers just don't care about, like poor shoot 'em ups. They never get a fair shake with Western reviewers. They just credit feed and say the game is too easy. You can do Mark II in 1 hour? I would have thought that even skipping through all of the text with no gameplay would be more than 1 hour. Is that a New Game Plus run or something?
おじいさまおじいさまってこれまた立派なおじいちゃん子ですね
Guru's so good.
おむつは取れたんでちゅか
おしゃべりはもうよろしいですかよろしければさっさと始めましょう
Yumi has like back problems. If you notice, she stands at like a slight backwards angle when she does her fancy pants lady pose.
これが月星
そうじゃわしらは黒影様の思いに応えたい
Guru is the best. Shut up, Minori. I know you didn't say anything, but shut up.
私たちが立派な善人であることを望んで
You know what's funny? People complain about how they localize Shiki. Like, people are complaining about her nicknames and stuff. She's a Valley girl! That is her whole thing. Her entire thing is that she acts like a California white girl. That is her entire gimmick in Japanese. And, like, she even says stuff in English and stuff. That is her whole personality. And people are like, oh my gosh, this localization is so shitty. It's like, maybe you should learn what the original thing was like before you say that, because you're a dumbass. Mark II is the hardest. I would say, I guess the action point system kind of makes it pretty hard. It wasn't really that crazy hard, though. It's been several years since I played that one. I never played the first one. The first one and Noir's game I never finished. Well, actually, I never started the first game on PS3.
分かったいいから早く寝てきな
Rank is pretty good too. Yeah, I knew somebody, I remember lots of stories of people, you know, complaining about localizations, and they're just kind of being complete morons. Like, people complain about Neptunia having memes in it because of the localization. We're talking about Hyperdimension Neptunia, which is a series where, in Mega Dimension Victory 2, the most recent game, one of the major antagonists is literally the creator of 2chan and current owner of 4chan. There is an entire character arc where you have to save a bunch of 2chan members that have been turned into that Ran Buddha meme. Like, they are just literally little Ran Buddha pigs, and you have to save them. And the owner of 4chan is deceiving them for money, and that's part of the plot. Like, memes and game references and stuff are like the point of the series. It's a parody series. I don't get. If you don't understand that, I don't know why you're playing this game. The game. That's all it is. It's.
恥じらいあってこその乙女だよそれにしても有名
Yeah, the PS4 version looks really good. This is some of the best anime graphics I've ever seen, really. Not next to Exurd, but that's not really a fair fight. Exurd is like black magic.
半蔵ともども腐れんじゃ
そうですか
Granny, unfortunately, has an even worse talking mouth than.
言うね
I'm pretty sure Afimojas is specifically 2chan's owners because that was right around when 2chan was getting a bunch of shit for some manipulative stuff or something. Like, it seems pretty direct. Okay, Twitch looks fine. I don't know why YouTube is having trouble. Okay, stream is resuming. I'm not dropping frames here, people. I don't know what the hell it's doing. Is it? Wait, KBS. Why am I getting 1 megabyte up? Megabit up. What the hell? Thing for anime graphics, because I mean, you can basically take a PS3 game that would have looked good, that has anime style, and suddenly instead of 720p sub 30 frames per second, you have full 1080p, full 60 frames per second, and it looks great, and you know, some better shaders and stuff there. But like the Neptunia game, like V2, Neptunia V2 looks so much better, and a lot of it's just because it's 1080p, 60 frames per second, and the textures are designed for that now. Because I mean, blurry 720p, I really don't want to ever have to deal with that again. The only upcoming Neptunia game that isn't already released, there's two upcoming Neptunia games. There's the Sega Hard Girls game that's coming in fall, and there's Cyber Dimension, which isn't even out in Japan yet. Okay, so YouTube is working now, right? It looks fine. I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. This is why I stream to two sites, because sometimes Twitch has problems. Apparently sometimes YouTube has troubles. Usually it's Twitch that has troubles, not YouTube. And it's usually just like buffering and crap. It's usually not Cyber Dimension is published by it's got Compile Heart staff on it, is what I've heard. So it sounds like it might be a mainline game, because I don't understand, like I don't follow that closely, but Sick the Hedgehog on Twitter, might know it from my Discord chat too. He seems to believe it might be a mainline game because of Compile Heart's involvement. I don't know too much about that stuff. I don't follow the Japanese side of things too much. But it might be, you know, the next mainline one. The most annoying subject that people act like they know a lot of? I would have to say pseudoscience. High fantasy one? The high fantasy one is Cyber Dimension. It's not really high fantasy, it's an MMO. Well, I mean, it's inside of an MMO. It's a single player game. But, basically, it takes place inside of Four Goddess Online, which is why everyone has, you know, the new costumes. But, I'm pretty hopeful for, Sega Hard Girls versus Neptunia. As long as that game has great writing, it should be really good. It has some flaws, but, its main problem, gameplay-wise, is, Mega Dimension Neptunia V2 was actually supposed to come out on PS3. That's actually what turned into Fairy Fencer F. So they were in development hell, so it was not supposed to take as long as it did. And Neptunia PP is a game. Raising Sims are games. Though I almost wish it was just a visual novel and not a Raising Sim. I'm not really a big fan of Raising Sims. They just kind of... They add the worst parts of games to, you know, the okay parts of visual novels. It's like... It just gives me a visual novel at that point, basically. I don't think it's going to be a actually, I'm pretty sure they've confirmed it's single player. I really do not like playing Yumi, especially against these guys. There's certain characters that these wolf things are really annoying. I mean, most most Raising Sims are at least 50% visual novel, so I mean, I'm not sure that makes too much sense to say, honestly. Ugh, I hate Yomi so much. She doesn't have the good... she has this, I guess. But her level 1 super is so weak. She doesn't have the clear lots of little baddies skill. Like, this is only okay in that regard. I don't know, I just find her frustrating to use for some reason. She has the ice, which is nice. I actually have a review for Omega Quintet on my site. I really like a lot of its ideas for combat. Its characters were just lame and totally forgettable. I'm a little biased because I hate idols and idol culture and pretty much everything involved there, but none of the humor is as good as, say, Neptunia. A big problem, whenever Compile Heart makes a game that doesn't like have really good focused on like humor, it's just not as good. Uh-oh. Ah. Crap. A lot of people thought the what's it called? A lot of people thought the Compile Heart crossover thing would be a fighting game. I figured it would be a card battler, and it was a card battler, so I told you so. It just did not make, like, that's a fairly high budget project for them to tackle. I know Axis has been coming out with quite a few of those, you know. Actually, did Axis do Nitro Plus blasters? Or is that just all in-house? I actually do have that game. I mostly just got it for Super Sonico, and, well, mostly just her, really. It was like 25, 20 bucks. I think it's currently 20 bucks on Amazon. Unfortunately, the transformation supers in this kind of tame. I don't really enjoy them too much. I pretty much figured it would be a collectible card fighting game, because I mean, that's what everything is. There's a lot of those, and it's a really cheap way to cram a bunch of characters together, and you know, get a bunch of otaku, spend $8,000 on gachapon. I really wish Japan, I am not a big one for, you know, tons of regulations and all that stuff. I would not mind gachapon being completely illegal. I wouldn't even mind, you know, gambling in the United States being illegal too much. I'm pretty pro-freedom, but that's, you know, it's pretty exploitative. And for one thing, the worst thing is Japan has gambling banned. But gachapon is just gambling by a different name, and it is like just barely outside of the legal definition of it somehow. And it's like, it's just so bullshit. There was talk of Granblue Fantasy, but I'm not sure they have added, like, that was pretty recent. I would be kind of surprised. I would be glad, but surprised, because I mean, I haven't noticed things getting less awful, but I don't really follow Japanese free-to-play too much. Like, there's a free-to-play Senran Kagura game. It's... At least it has a lot of card art, but, I actually don't like a lot of the card art for that game. It's got a lot of the standard maid fetish, wedding dresses, housewife crap. I don't like that crap. But I do really like their main artist. I got the Senran Kagura art book. I actually haven't gone through it yet. I have a bunch of art books I need to go through. Oh, and hello, Molly Kanado, I guess? Hold on, I need to catch up on chat here. Quick question, what game series would you like to see Neptunia crossover with more than Sega Hard Girls? Well, like I've said in a few of these streams, I would really love to see, just a straight up, Senran Kagura and Neptunia crossover. Like, just an official DLC for this game with all the Neptunia, like, main characters or something. Throw in some missions with, you know, some Neptunia side characters and, you know, have a little silly plot. I would honestly probably enjoy that more than I did Neptunia U if it was, you know, meaty enough. And then we could play them online and stuff. I just feel... I really love Neptunia games, I really love the Senran Kagura games, but when they do, like, Neptunia U, you just have this feeling that you know Tamsoft can do better, you know Idea Factory can do better, and they just didn't have the money, I guess. And yeah, I really wish they would port some of the, or at least start making the side games for PS4 in addition to Vita. I love my Vita, but in my opinion, there's very little reason to make a Vita game that is not also on PS4 these days. Because if you're going to localize it, you're going to want that PS4 version, so Westerners will buy it. And there's basically nothing that doesn't get localized, unless it's a visual novel, of course. That's about it, because I mean... And even then, visual novels have been picking up. Sakai Project seems to be doing pretty well. I mostly cover their non-visual novel stuff. Like, I've been trying to play, not Bunny Must Die. It's very much like Bunny Must Die. Rabby Ribby. That is an extremely well-polished game. I can't wait to play that, but I can't wait to record that, rather. But, yeah, I wanted to finish that game on my own terms and then do a stream. Yeah, I'm hoping whatever the next Neptunia I noticed that a lot with Sega Hard Girls. It's kind of hard to go back after playing Mega Dimension. It is sub 30 frames per second in some areas. It does the same thing that Mega Dimension does, where the very first map you are in has way worse performance than the rest of the game, and it just makes you expect something awful. It's not perfect frame rate. It's like Rebirth 2 frame rates on Vita, I would say. It's mostly 30 with some dips into, mid-high 20s and a couple areas that are kind of bad. It's acceptable, but it really made me wish I could be playing this on PlayStation 4. I don't really mind having to play on console. I don't mind the PS4 version hitting before PC. I'm not too picky that way. But I do want my 1080p and 60 frames per second. I do want my PS4 version at least. Any games like Senran Kagura you would recommend on PS4? Well, I would recommend Estival Versus, obviously, but assuming you have that. There's some Musuo games, but there isn't really too much directly like this that I can think of. I think Vita has some knockoffs. I think, aside from the Tamsoft games, I'm not sure there are too many games like this. Like, I think it's called Bullet Girls or something. I've heard that's like a knockoff Senran Kagura I've heard it's not as good. I was tempted to import, but it wasn't very cheap. And I'll blow like $30, including shipping, on a game that might be crap, but I wasn't gonna pay like $50 for that. Sorry, the story's bumming me out, so it's getting harder to talk. Yeah, there's Dragon Quest Heroes. I did not enjoy Dragon Quest Heroes, honestly. This is honestly more like a 3D beat 'em up than it is Musuo. There's the big crowds of enemies, but that doesn't necessarily make it a Musuo. Because there's a lot of map control elements and, escort quests, and I don't actually like that stuff. I know a lot of Musuo fans do. I did not enjoy Dragon Quest Heroes. Yeah, I got that for like $30, and I decided for this style more. Oh yeah, Oni-chan, well, I don't know about that. Oni-chan Bara, it's similar humor-wise. I don't think it's executed quite as well, but it's more of a character action game, like Devil May Cry. It's an easier sort of action game. It's that game's pretty fun. It's not bad gameplay-wise, but it's really easy to beat, but the difficulty is all in, scoring properly, which, for a character action game, that makes sense. Have I played you mean Galgun? That actually came with my 360. I got a Japanese 360, and it had a bunch of shoot 'em ups, and also Galgun for some reason. My opinion on Galgun is the PS4 has the move, but Galgun doesn't support it, and why would you have a rail shooter that ignores a rail shooter controller? Like, that bothers me. I didn't find it too amazing. Like, I did really like the girl with the wooden sword in the original, but it was all in Japanese, so if there was humor, I didn't really grok it, and I wasn't super digging the gameplay. It was just, a fairly plain rail shooter dressed up with, pervy stuff. I didn't bother trying to get a review copy or anything, and I wasn't going to import. I think that's Rice Digital exclusive, too. I'm not sure why they're getting all of it. My interest was a bit too low to bother with it. That was another chapter ending, so that's why that one was so long. One thing I really like about this, it makes things a bit uneven, but this game does not follow the pattern of giving each character equal representation in the story. So, like, Homura is only used once. I think one character is left out entirely, and characters like Riona and Ryobi are used a lot more often. And the game just does what the story needs, not what, it doesn't do it formulaically, and I actually prefer this a great amount to that. Is One Chanbara by Tamsoft? Oh yeah, I think it is. It's been a while since I played that. There's a video, if you're curious about One Chanbara Z2 Chaos, I have a video for that. Calm down, Mirai. Also, if you played one of the earlier One Chanbara games, don't judge Z2 Chaos by those. It apparently got way better.
未来大変そうね。でもこんなところで踏ん張るのはどうかと思うわ。早くお
はるか様勘違いしないでそういうのじゃないの出ないのは
I wanna, it's hard to show this, but, Mirai is wearing a wonderful, bracelet.
インターネットができるんですか
Interneto! Sorry, I love English.
なんか不思議なパワーで
Do I have the DLC? No, I forgot to buy the DLC characters. Is there a bundle with all of the DLC characters? There's way too goddamn much DLC in this game.
読む人はいないのでは
I'm kind of annoyed that, with the PC release of Shinobi Versus, they went and just bundled all the DLC into it. And they don't even, like, give us major discounts. Like, I think it's a little cheaper than it is in Japanese, but,
続きを更新してくれない紫あんたなんでここにいるのよ
oh yeah, Mirai and Murasaki's interaction is actually kind of cute. Yeah, I didn't buy the DLC girls because I wasn't sure if there was, like, a cheaper way to buy all of them.
更新されない
Yeah, I probably will get them, but I haven't finished all of the main content, so I didn't really bother getting it yet. My F key kind of broke. I don't think you can do that.
やっぱりあんただったのね
I have removed a key from a keyboard on accident once though. I got really annoyed and I sort of clenched my fist and my nail went under a key and that key did not go back on. I don't know why laptop keys are so bad about that.
クズの紫に読ませるようにってことか
You tell him, Baby Tan! Baby Tan is great. All of a sudden. I actually hate Baby Tan, but I love when he's a jackass.
っていうかそのぬいぐるみ口悪すぎでしょ
私は早く続きが読みたいんです。
I love the pall over her face. They have some nice little touches unique to specific characters. I do wish the body type, everybody has basically the same body type with, some slight variations for height, cup size, but I do wish they had a bit more variation of body type. But,
私が
it's kind of how the artist draws them.
中から
I was really annoyed with in Shinobi Versus the skin textures were like pretty low res. It's not as much of an issue in this. There's still a little like the collarbone texture. You can see some jaggies.
手を突っ込んで掴んで
I don't think that's how that works, Murasaki. That's way too gross. We have some lovely female bonding here. It must be great to have such passionate fans. Oh yeah, the eye shader is really good too. She'll be fine. There's some weird property of this, like they don't even want to explain like why there's like level variety. So when people get into a fight on this, dream island, they just warp to some place to fight. It just happened. It works. I kind of like how they just kind of did what works story and gameplays wise. They didn't let either be too tethered by the other. They want to have some level variety, so you just appear in places. They want to have some story variety, so they don't force you to go through every single character. I'm gonna go ahead and try the Frenzy mode. I'd never forget if it's any good with her. I think she does pretty good. It'd be really helpful if she had piercing bullets, but I guess that would be cheap. I'm surprised how many level ups I get, considering I'm like way over leveled for most of this. Well, for all of this, really. But I still get level ups, so... You're surprised Nintendo got a Senran Kagura game? I'm not too surprised. They're a little stingier, like the app icons. I'm 100% sure Nintendo asked them to get a tame app icon for Senran Kagura, because in the DS games the icon is a bird. In the Vita games, the icon is just actually a pair of boobs. It's oh, I guess I can't show you. This isn't the Vita. But yeah, the Senran Kagura Estival or Shinobi versus one. It's just Yomi's cleavage or Yumi's cleavage. I always get those mixed up. They're off just by one vowel. Yeah, Nintendo hasn't been crazy with the censorship of other people's games since the N64 era. That's really when they, sort of calmed down. They're still stupid with their own games in a lot of ways, but I'm not surprised. And Senran Kagura 1 is actually a teen-rated game. It's fairly tame next to Shinobi Versus. See, look at all these level ups. I do wish there was a mode where leveling up did not give you your meter and health back, or a mode that is like, fixes your level at 99 and is designed to be a challenge at level 99. Speaking of Nintendo and Senran Kagura, I have not beaten either of the Senran Kagura games on 3DS. Oh no! Yes, we got the quick KO. I do want to finish Senran Kagura 2. She offered her the frickin' rice ball. The jelly donut, excuse me. That was a great scene. Your burst. Yeah, the second game is a lot better than Burst, but I like the Versus games a lot better than the 3DS games. And hi, Golden Lance. Okay, brain's intact. Good. I like when my brains are intact too. So we are officially into content that I haven't played yet, so I'm gonna be reading a bit more carefully here. Also, the convenient censorship, the light beams, it's less annoying than it was in Versus, but I kind of miss the chibi faces they had for the boob censorship in Shinobi. Also, the light beams on the chest are a little heavier than the chibis were. The crotch covering light beam is way less obtrusive, though. Oh yeah, I have the Double D edition. I actually got the Japanese version of that as well, just because it came with a bunch of figures. I have all of the chibi figures for Senran Kagura so far. It's what keeps me buying the Japanese limited editions. See, everything worked out. There's certain interactions in the series I really don't like. Like, I don't like how they do the unrequited love thing with both lesbian couples, like Miyabi, being unrequited with Imu. That's one thing, but then Hibari has no idea that Yagyu is hitting on her and stuff. And it's like, let them be a couple. It's just annoying. It's that sort of S-class relationship where they try to keep it a secret. It's like, oh, girls aren't supposed to like girls. It's like, fuck off and let them be lesbian. Honestly. But there's a lot of good interactions like this here. There's just a few things. Like, I've actually been meaning to write an article about. There is some issues that I genuinely don't like in this game, and it has nothing to do with the fact that there's boobs or nudity. No, there's some actual writing that I think could be dramatically improved. Like, the Crimson Squad Skippy. Those are the cheapest ones, actually. The Senran Kagura 2 seems to have bombed in Japan, so you can get the box set for like $30 with all of the figures, and that also has the what's it called? It also has the full soundtrack, but the Double D edition in English has that too. I've heard the theory that Yagyu was attached to Hibari because of sisterly things, but she does not act sisterly in many. Like there are things where she's clearly interested beyond sister level, sister tier. Parker, you have clumps. Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm declumping my cat. Yeah, you don't like that, you. I know. Get the clump. Riveting cat declumping gameplay. Sorry about that. Let's go back to Murasaki. I wish there was just a button I could press to go straight to the character. Murasaki is very relatable. Is it true the Japanese one shows the boobs? Absolutely not. The funny thing about people saying that games need to be censored coming to the West, or like people wondering if this game will be censored, Japan actually has stricter censorship laws than Japan. Like, they have extremely strict censorship. Like, in the United States, adults only can exist. It just, you know, nobody's gonna sell it in a retail store, so and nobody's gonna put it on a console, so it's sort of a self-regulated thing. But you can make adults-only games for PC. In Japan, you can actually not show nipples or vaginas or penises or stuff like that. Yes, that's right, Parker. And so a Japanese game can basically never be more explicit than an English one, or than a, you know, Western released one. The only time it has been an issue is with underage characters, and that's what happened to, what's it called, Monster Monpiece. That is basically the only time it could be an actual issue. Like, it's funny when people say like, oh, Nintendo did it to, you know, get a T rating. Go look at the CGs in Mega Dimension Neptunia if you want to see what a T rating gets nowadays. It's I can't show you immediately, but like, there's full backle nudity. You know, they don't, Parker, they don't show you the parts that'll get you, you know, an adults only rating, but everything else pretty much goes. Yes, that's right, Parker. I really like Yagyu, actually. I know a lot of people don't. Is the PS4 region free? There's so many copies. PS4 is region free for discs. It's basically region free except Parker. It's region free except you need a Japanese account to buy from the Japanese PSN, but you can have multiple accounts, so it's not really a problem. Rin's not underage, but when I say underage, I mean the problem with Monster Monpiece is actually characters like younger than Mirai even. Or Mirai's actually like 16 or 17. She just looks like tiny Bab. Parker, you were in the way. Yeah, characters like Murasaki, you know, it's more about how you look than the actual age number. I always find it kind of funny. The one thing that people call censorship that I'll absolutely never get worked up over is, you know, calling everybody quote-unquote 18, because, you know, American authors do that too, you know, it's the same thing. In Japanese, calling everybody 16 is the exact same thing as in America calling everybody 18, you know, it's just the lowest age they can get away with. I mean, it's kind of gross on its own way, but I'm not going to get offended over it. Don't tee-hee me, get your ass. Arky, would you please stop obstructing the mic? You can get the DLC for PS4 games from Japan. You just have to buy them on a separate account. Like, That's how you fight a rainbow. Murasaki is so relatable. But yeah, basically on PS4 you just need to have a Japanese account, buy the DLC or whatever on the Japanese account, then play it in the English one. Yeah, Dioji is, I forget how old she is. So, one thing I don't like in this, Dioji's abs are not very well defined. Like in art, she has the best six-pack ever, but in game, it's just kind of this faint nothingness. They're barely there, and it's sad because in the official art, she has the most amazing six-pack. When did Riona get here? Where did my text box? There is a button you can press to hide the text box. I forget what it is. I'll have to. But if you don't even have a Japanese account, you can just plop a disc in there and it'll work. So if you just import a physical game, you'll be fine. You'll even get updates without a Japanese account. You just need a Japanese account to get DLC. I actually bought a Japanese game on PSN for the first time a bit ago on my PS TV. I have two PS TVs because they went down to $20, so I just got another one. And I actually got Bunny Must Die. I wanted to play the PS4 version, and I misread, and it's apparently not out yet, but it's cross-buy. I'll probably play it on Vita, but I just haven't been in the mood to play a new game. Like, I don't know. When I get a new game, depending on the game, like, especially like an action-oriented game, I really want to, you know, I want to dedicate my full attention to it. I want to be in the right mood. Like, I don't want to let my bad mood, like, drag down the experience of a new game. So I'll play a game I've already played, or, you know, a more relaxing game, or just something that I won't feel invested in. Like, I got Abzu today. I'll probably just play that on my own and then do a video for that. So probably do. I love her little smirk. Watch her face. I wish she yelled more though. I love that little smirk. The little attentions to detail like that, I really love that in this game. Kefuru has a lot of great little faces. Her screams are really good, but they're unfortunately rare in her normal attacks. You just get them in her supers. I played the Uppers demo. I don't think I'm into that. Yeah, not understanding the story is a factor. Certain games, like, I started importing for shoot 'em ups where the story isn't really important, honestly. And I actually have a Japanese 360. I didn't even bother getting a modded one. I didn't even own a 360 to begin with, and so I just decided to get a Japanese one. Most American games are not region locked, but a lot of Japanese ones are, so if you only get one, a Japanese one is pretty much best to get. I don't wonder how that works on Xbox One backwards compatibility, but I kind of suspect a lot of Caves games won't show up on that, so it won't probably matter. Though a lot of those 360 not quite exclusive, like a lot of Caves games on 360 are coming to PC, fortunately. So my collection's mostly just for collection's sake at this point. Though there's still some cool things like Jinja Force. I really hope that comes to PC. We already got Eschatos, so I assume it will eventually. Yeah, you can just import Puyo Puyo Tetris. Or, oh, you'd like to play it. You have it. Yeah, I've been meaning to sort of import that. I'm not good at Tetris or Puyo Puyo, but it seems to be like one of the few games that's never going to be a digital on PS4, so I should probably just snag it. A big reason I imported this game initially was just because it came with chibi figures, and I was 99% sure the US wouldn't be getting them, and I was basically right. They only got in like a super limited edition for Europe. They treat this game a lot better in Europe for some reason. Not that XC does a bad job, but Marvelous just does it a better job of promoting it. Which is funny because I think XC does the localization here, and then they just promote it better and give better limited editions in whatever, Europe, whatever, you know, that place that isn't here, whatever. Oh yeah, the DS region lock sucks. I really, really hope the NX doesn't have that bullshit. I even had to, I circumvented the region lock and to play Senran Kagura 2 because I got that Japanese limited edition. I didn't end up playing it that much, but it's a real pain in the butt, and then they fixed that vulnerability. I gave most of the characters animal ears, but it depends on the character's personality. Like, Murasaki here is definitely more of a rabbit than a cat. Like, the more aggressive characters, I gave kitty ears. Like, Miyabi has cat ears. But, like, the more gentle characters have rabbit ears, and Riona has dog ears. I just was bored and couldn't think of anything else to do. There are pretty good, the dressing room has a lot of stuff you can do in this game. Like, I've seen some pretty impressive stuff people pull off with the accessories and stuff, but, it's a bit much effort for me. Like, I've seen people partially recreate Neptunia characters, and I'd be interested in that, but it's a bit more effort than I kind of want to put in. I'd be willing to, like, download people's, like, outfits and just use them, but making them myself, it's a bit more effort than I want to go through. And yeah, it's kind of our puritanical nature in America. It sucks. I really wish we'd be over it. It's really pathetic that we're not. We seem to be getting better, but it's a slow process, like a lot of things. An unfortunate thing with a lot of these situational finishers, the area of effect is just really wide, so you might get like 3 of the same one. Like we literally just did. And there's a few that are a lot harder to get too. Like, so you'll be seeing one like 20 times, and then one, like there's some I haven't even seen yet. Like that one where she visited those girls eating the jelly donuts. I've never seen that one before. But a lot of these actually were added after I played the original game. Ryoki is actually, or Ryobi's oddly cute now that I put her in that outfit. Not usually very cute characters. It's just one. Though she's a lot nicer in this game. Queen of Boobs and Booty. Is that Katsuragi's new title? And yeah, it's religious garbage. Don't even get me started. Yeah, I like Ryobi. I actually customized Ryobi a fair bit. I really do not like her pigtails in her default thing, but I really like her with these shorter ones. Like her default Ryobi's default ones just really look silly. You see the boobs queen and the booty queen are battling for the throne. This epic struggle. The whole world gets plunged into despair. It's life versus hometown. Then what happens? Princess. Aw, don't you even. I hate this whole flatty crap. I don't mind the existence of the flat characters, but I really don't like that we have 2 flat characters and both of them have major chest issues. I'd accept one. I wouldn't be happy, but I would accept one because, you know, common trope. Some people seem to consider it funny. But, I was gonna flip out if Kafuru had chest issues. She thankfully doesn't. Kafuru is a C cup, but that's actually lower. Aside from 3 characters, everyone is an F cup or larger. There's 2 like double A cups with Mirai and Ryobi. Kafuru is a C cup. Everyone else is an F or larger. When I first played this game, I thought everyone had the exact same boob size, but if you pay attention, there's actually quite a bit of difference. It just starts out very large. Like Ikage and Asuka are sort of towards the lower end. Murasaki and Fiona, the 2 largest. It's totally arbitrary facts I just happened to memorize. We have to play Hibari. You know, Hibari's not that bad. Next to Minori, anyway. Haruka and worst thing ever. I really don't like these two's interactions. It's the classic pervert with someone who is too quote-unquote innocent or actually dumb to understand what's going on. Fortunately, we'll probably get to kick her ass or something. She's got her priorities straight. Good news, we get to kick her ass. There's actually a pretty nice casino bunny outfit. I didn't notice that until I was mostly done giving everyone ears. But that's why her ears are different. I think I gave the casino bunny outfit to Ryobi. That's why she has bunny ears. I just thought it was a funny change because she's the only one. Some people think that like their boobs must get bigger when they transform. I guess because that's a trope in some things. Now, only I mean they do that, but it's only Ryobi that does that. People made the Senran Kagura girls in like WWE 2015. I guess I'm not surprised. Did creator wrestler ever look like? Did they start looking like human? So anime characters in like realistic setting look really bad. Like what's it called? The Dead or Alive 5 collaboration with Senran Kagura. It's like they look scary in Dead or Alive 5. The Senran Kagura outfits. It just looks wrong. Meanwhile, Ayame in this game looks amazing. The Dead or Alive 5 character they brought over. She's never looked better in my opinion. She's just, I wish I could remember the name of the artist. I bought their art book, but yeah, the artist for this series is just really damn good. They get really good music too. Not sure how much you can hear it over me blathering, but I'm pretty sure what did in Burst. Their boobs got bigger? It's only been a thing for Ryobi that I'm aware. Maybe it was something only in one, but I don't think so. It does focus on their boobs, and some of the outfits do make them look bigger, but it's just sort of the way the clothes layer works. I guess Hibari is kind of there to satisfy the giantess fetish, maybe? That just is randomly one of her attacks. Yeah, there's a Senran Kagura wiki that has all the cup sizes, and none of them change except for Ryobi. Senran Kagura has so much attention to detail. They actually have a chart for everyone's bust size by volume. You know, not just cup size, but actual like to the milliliter volume. Which, you know, Kenshi Taka is just very dedicated to his craft. You have to respect that. I mean, you may disagree with his passion, but you can't deny that, you know, he is dedicated to his craft. And I wish more game devs were like that. You know, you just find something you like, you make your dream game, and you find people that like it and will support you. Yeah, I'm not surprised there's a character like Hibari, so I can sort of tolerate her existence alone, but her plus Minori, it's too much. We only need one of these. Hibari's always had that, I'm pretty sure. Oh, her butt bump is actually pretty good though. I always forget to use it. Yeah, her you know, jump and then the smash. Would you freaking get out of here? I hate these guys because they just block for days. Of course, I use the gender neutral term guys. I try to wean myself off of that. Like I've considered guys, you know, as a, you know, catch-all term to be gender neutral for a long time, but some people, you know, flip out over it, so I just sort of right or not. I've heard pretty iffy things about the animes. I don't tend to like anime adaptations of games. I just tend to like, you always lose a lot, and they end up doing a lot of anime tropey stuff the games usually don't do. Like with Neptunia, the games are a parody of anime, but with the anime of Neptunia, it's just in plain old anime, and I don't mean that like circular logic, but I mean it plays all of the anime tropes straight instead of, you know, making them parody. It just actually does all of the things that Neptunia usually makes fun of. I don't really appreciate that. Well, I'm not surprised that it lists, you know, cup size, but they have actual... I've definitely never seen another series list the breast volume by milliliters. Like, I'm not talking, you know, bust width height, or bust waist hips. Like, I'm talking actual bust volume. I've never seen that before. I don't really like playing as Hibari though. She's got the butt bump, which is pretty alright for like, it's kind of funny for crowds, but... Alright, I completely forget what her level 5 is. I actually have not used some of the level 5s. I just always forget they exist. It's going to a new school. I really wish they would like sort of merge the two series or put the Versus characters into the main line, because almost all of my favorite characters are in the Versus series, and I'm feeling increasingly not interested in the main series. It being on 3DS definitely doesn't help, because you get crappy frame rate, and I mean, it's okay frame rate on Neptunia 2. Yeah, I haven't actually watched the Neptunia anime yet. I've heard fairly bad things. Some people watch the anime first and really like it. I mean, not everybody can have good taste, but yeah. I won. You're not supposed to make me watch this after I won. Finally, someone kick her ass. You're supposed to be doing something. Oh yes, kick her ass. Kick her ass, please. I love the physics on display in a lot of the characters' character art. Their artist just has, you can just tell they have so much fun designing everything in these games, and it's just infectious. Like, it's not just about the perv stuff, it's all about fun. The perv stuff is just another aspect of fun for the designers. It's really nice to see. Ah, no, I have to play Haruka now. Why do you do this to me, game? I'm trying to sing praises of you, but, like, they keep shoving the... I mean, out of 25 main characters, I only dislike 3, and they keep shoving them right into my face. Oh, speaking of Yagyu and Hibari, there's an actually super sweet, where I can grab it, but it's a, the limited edition for this game has a really cute, like, Valentine sort of, like, coupley thing of Yagyu and Hibari. And I don't usually like Hibari, but that art is really sweet. I forget exactly what it is, but it's really cute. Neptunia anime is not funny, the dub tries too hard. Yeah, I've heard that, well, one thing I've heard about Neptunia is that the game is actually less funny in the original Japanese. They sort of spice it up in the localization, which, since it's a parody series, I do not mind at all. As long as it's, you know, good. But, yeah, I've just heard nothing about the anime sounds good to me, to be honest. I do want to watch it. The Japanese box sets actually had all kinds of good stuff. Ugh. Haruka is so awful. Why did you do this, game? Why do you do this to me? It seems like the anime just follows to a lot of tropes and just does not make them interesting. Like, tropes can be okay if you like, well, tropes are tools, you know the whole spiel. But dumb anime tropes can be alright if you're making fun of them, but if you're just playing them straight, like, you can't do that, no. I'm kind of afraid the manga might be like that too. I haven't read it. There's a fan translation, there's no official translation. I did buy all the manga and stuff. I have most Neptunia figure things, music things, and art things, including the comics and stuff, but I can't read Japanese, so I haven't really understood all of everything. I wonder if this is decent against these peoples. Oh, it is so bad. Hopefully I'll level... Nope. Didn't even get a level up to refill. No, Haruka is bad. And you should feel bad. The Japanese anime boxes for... just like one of my Japanese animes. The Japanese boxes for the Neptunia anime are really great. I actually bought the Vert one just because it's really great Tsunako art. I mean, all Tsunako art is amazing. It's actually really crazy how much she's improved since... I guess Neptunia 1 was like her first real project, like first major project. A lot of the art for that game I do not like, but a lot of, like, everything after that I love from Tsunako. Oh, I cannot do Neptunia in Japanese. I absolutely despise the Nepus and Kampas Desus. Pretty much just those two things, and the Oni-chan. Well, there's no Oni-chans. Blissfully, there's no Oni-chans, but there's lots of One-chans. That's significantly less awful, but I still don't like it. I was just saying on Twitter the other day, I would be perfectly fine if I never heard someone say, a character under the age of 20 saying Oni-chan, literally ever. Who do I like? You mean in Senran Kagura? Pretty much the only characters I really dislike in this series are Haruka, Minori, and Hibari. Katsu I have some issues with, like I don't like all the consent issues with her. But for the most part, I really like pretty much almost everyone. Everyone has, some redeeming quality except for, the three I mentioned, pretty much. Whoa, camera. Hold down. Oh, do you mean in Neptunia? I'm pretty much in the same boat with Neptunia. I like pretty much everyone. Neptune is great in small doses, but the game forces her way too much. I really love Neptune in Mark II, but she's so sparse in there that her gimmicks all really work, and I really liked her. She's absolutely awful in Victory. She's less bad in Victory 2, but her whole, I'm the protagonist, Nepu! I hate that so much. Other than that, Red is really annoying. I really love her design. Red is frustrating because she has a really fantastic design, but her personality is really annoying. I actually really like Haruka's animations for some of the stuff, but I just really don't like her overall personality. I really dislike Ram. Between Ram and Ram, there's like one character's worth of material there. I kind of wish they weren't there. I wish we could trade Ram and Ram for Chica. Or at the very least, let us have Chica in compensation for, no lean box sister. And as far as my favorites in Senran Kagura, that's a harder question. Viona is probably my favorite. Also Yozakura. though, Yozakura is not as good in this game. I don't know what they did. They made her, like... They kind of just forgot her personality. Like, they made the joke where, you know, she has the personality change, you know, in a certain situation, but they just kind of forget to dial her back to normal. But I really love Yozakura in Shinobi versus, at least. I mostly like Yagyu. I'm a little iffy on her whole relationship with Hibari for a lot of reasons, but just fighting style and being a general badass, I really like Yagyu. Katsuragi is another one that I really like her fighting style and everything. I love her voice. The whole groping thing is a bit too much. Like, if she wasn't, like, forceful with it, I wouldn't mind her at all. Like, I'm definitely alright with an aggressive lesbian, but, you know, they just make it too awkward. Who else? Shiki's really good. Kafuru is my favorite newcomer. Kafuru is great. Hanabi is really good too. I just like almost everybody for different reasons. And that's something I really like about this series. Like, it is really impressive for somebody to, you know, or for a team rather, to, you know, come up with 25 characters and I only dislike 3 of them. Like, that is crazy. That is really good. And Neptunia is roughly similar. Everyone in Neptunia, they sort of go too far with some of the tropes and stuff. Like, I really don't like Neptune and Noir's relationship. It's basically just Neptune being a complete jackass and Noir, for no reason at all, liking her back. It's just dumb and I don't like it. But Vert's great. Noir's great. Yeah, 5 PP was great. The makers are kind of a problem though. I can see why makers are kind of rare. They actually, the makers, it's kind of interesting and unfortunate how they have to do that. They design the maker characters and then they give the rights in their entirety to, like, 5PB, the company owns 5PB, the Neptunia character. Neptunia has to license the character they designed back in order to be able to use it. That's the only way they can, you know, actually name them like that. It mostly works with characters that, you know, Neptunia, you know, that Compile Heart has a good relationship with, but it means characters like, we'll never get a real Capcom. We have to have Seasha. You know, Capcom is never going to agree to that. Square Enix actually might have, because they have a really good relationship with Square Enix, but it would have been really weird to have a Square Enix and then Seasha and Bisha and stuff. So I think that's why that happened that way. And I actually, if it means they don't have licensing issues, I actually prefer the Bisha method. What the hell? What happened there? I feel like Haruka takes forever to do anything. I really do not enjoy playing as her. Fiona is actually probably one of my favorite characters to play as, too. And I actually rather like Ryobi in this game. I didn't like her at all in Shinobi versus, but she plays really well in this one. It helps that her bullets bounce and that she has, like, a charged shotgun skill. Oh, Million Arthur. I despise her. Million Arthur is the reason I don't want guys in Neptunia, because they go straight for the harem garbage, and I hate harem protagonists. Million Arthur is just... ugh. And we know what they would do with male characters, because they do all of the harem protag shit with the Secretary in Noir's game. You could write Secretary out of Noir's game. You would lose nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's no reason for that idiot to be in there. It's so awful. And the worst thing about self-insert stuff, it's supposed to be pandering to me, but it lessens my experience. You made a game worse by trying to please me. It's like, that's... ugh. Just, I already like the characters that are already in the game. Just make a game about them. There's Yumio. I don't really like Yumio. They do some gross stuff with Yumio too. He's significantly less awful than Secretary or the producer in PP. But, can we get Haruka off the screen, please? Okay, thank you. Yumio is like the most non-enemy male character I would prefer to allow. I would actually like a little bit. It was actually kind of funny. In Mark 2, they point out that like guys are useless in this universe. It's like that's the, you know, it's consoles personified as cute girls. It doesn't need to be anything other than that. Oh no, am I gonna have to see Trash Can again? I forgot that this game had so much of Haruka. I can't believe they gave her a second chapter because she ruins chapter 2. Alright, found the skip button. Let's just get to the fight. Yagyu's gonna kick Haruka's ass. Wait, what button is that? Oh, it's circle. My opinion of Pokemon Go is no. I'm not interested in that. For a lot of reasons I don't really care to discuss. For one thing, I don't really play anything on my phone. So I'm definitely not gonna, you know, trespass in people's backyards looking for shit. It's a conglomeration of a lot of mobile systems I don't really like, and basically nothing that I like from Pokemon, so no, just not gonna play that. I'm super interested in Gen 7, but I'm not gonna complain too much because we're getting Gen 7. If we got Pokemon Go is what we got instead of Gen 7, I would be super pissed, but we're still getting the good stuff, so I don't really care. I did think it was hilarious that investors thought it was going to be like the most amazing, best thing ever for... Oh, I forgot how good she is. Yagyu is really fun to play as. I really love her. And that's her level 1. It's almost cheap. She's got such good poses and stuff. And I love her bladed umbrella thing when she sends it out. And she's got the ranged attacks too. It's just real fun. I don't really have too much to say about Go. She has squid powers in her eye. Don't ask. Yeah, I've noticed that anime girls are not allowed to actually, you know, be missing an eye. Like, I've seen at least 10 anime characters that have an eye patch, but there's an eye back there. There's a fully functional eye, and it's just basically there for, you know, they have stupid reasons, but basically it's there for fashion, to make them seem badass. Oddly enough, Legend of Dark Witch is, like, the first time I can recall a, you know, fairly cutesy anime girl style character that actually has a damaged eye. Though she doesn't wear an eye patch, so she's not quite an inversion of that trope, because she just has a scarred eye and she doesn't use an eye patch. She's too much of a badass for an eye patch. Yeah, Yagyu has, it's sort of to remind her of her sister, and it's also keeps in her evil shinobi magic powers. And then Mirai just has her eye patch because she hates the world and she wanted to see less of it. It's just the most edgelord thing I've ever heard. Please be done with Haruka after this. Oh my gosh. Maybe I should have put it down to easy while dealing with Haruka so she'd go away faster. Oh no! There was so much health. You know, people complain all the time that the combos are a little simple, but it's because I don't, you know, play it all in one go, but I always forget the, you know, the additional combos that characters have, so. I think considering the actual character count in the series, Senran Kagura's combo stuff is just fine, really. Stop. Alright, there's no characters with a bow and arrow either. I guess bow and arrows are kind of boring. I needed to name an archer in Grand Kingdom, and I was trying to think of a cool, badass anime archer. I couldn't really think of anyone. Bows are a little bit boring, honestly. Mira and Mirai. Like I said earlier, Mirai is basically the penguin, and I really like her stuff with Murasaki. I don't like her, you know, whole flatness complex. And I wouldn't mind it as much if she was the only one that did that, but we have Ryobi too, and it's just a dumb trope. I don't dislike her. She's alright. And Kimura, I have some issues with Kimura. I mostly don't like her, you know, rivalry with Asuka. It's so overbearing, and they do this whole thing where they're clearly lesbians, but they're never gonna actually mention it, and it's like, I don't like that. It's like, just fucking kiss already, you know? And, I like Kimura's tan, but I wish the only, you know, character with brown skin didn't have it because of a tan. You know, I know Japan, it's in Japan, and, you know, it's like 97 or more % Japanese. There actually are a few dark-skinned characters in New Wave, this stupid free-to-play card game. But, I don't dislike Kimura, I just have assorted reasons to be frustrated with her. I actually don't like the leader of any... Like, the leaders are not my favorites of any of the schools. Yeah, I actually have the Kimura DLC for Nitro Plus Fighters. I barely used her. I did a playthrough with Sonico, and that was about it. I don't have fighting games too much. I love the idea, but I don't really enjoy playing them very much. It's just too much work. Tiagi's so cute with Hibari sometimes. I'm not gonna complain that Kimura is there. I might throw some jokes, but it's not like Minori. If it was Minori, I might yell at you. See, I wouldn't mind this whole interaction if this happened like immediately after Haruka tried to get all frisky with Hibari. It's not a blowjob. See? I like her logic. I also like that her belt has somehow survived, or her skirt has survived on as a belt. Miyabi is definitely my favorite leader, which is funny because most people tend to hate like everyone in Hejibo, but nobody said everybody had taste. I really like Miyabi. The one thing I don't like about Miyabi, I'm a little iffy on the whole unrequited love thing with Mimu, but they tried to make her like a Bifoan, but that doesn't work when you have... She's at least an F cup. I think she might actually be a little bigger. There's no way anyone would literally ever confuse her for a guy. Even without the boob, she's really not that Bifoan. K from Neptunia, that is a successful Bifoan. That is how you do it. Like, people genuinely thought K was a guy. Snap. What was that sound? He just yells snap. Asuka is fine, but they just tries way too hard to shove her in your face, and it actually really makes me dislike her a lot more than I would normally. She's perfectly fine, but she's rather boring. No! Why is there 4 episodes on this? It's just... I really love the series, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. Let's go play as Hibari. I'm just gonna play as easy so we get out of this chapter. I don't like this chapter at all. Yeah, none of the leaders are bad, they're just kind of overdone. Except for Miyabi. She's fine. Oh yeah, Hibari has brain powers. They don't go into this very often. But sometimes brain powers happen. You can tell she's mad because she has a little nerve thingy. Jeez, people. That oil over here. They have some really good eye animations and stuff. The eyes in this game look really good. Like, they must be like 4K quality or better. SG belongs to me. Senran Kagura RPG. I wouldn't mind that. Though the thing about RPGs, like, RPG is usually an excuse for a series with a lot of characters to bring them all in one game. Senran Kagura kind of already has them all in one game. If you consider... Shut up, you hypocritical trash bot. See? 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 I guess as long as this actually ends, this whole particular arc, this is fine, because Hibari is actually, you know, not being trash. But speaking of RPG, like, not, like, RPG spin-offs, Legend of Dark Witch is getting an RPG, and I'm super interested to play that. I unfortunately won't be able to cover it on my channel because I can't capture a 3DS. I kind of wish I did get a 3DS capture card way back when. It doesn't feel worth it now because the 3DS is probably dead after this year. But there ended up being a fair amount of stuff I wanted to cover. Like, mostly Legend of Dark Witch and some Virtual Console games, like some Kirby games. And Senran Kagura, of course. I was supposed to do a review of Senran Kagura 2. I hope Xseed isn't too mad at me. I never ended up doing that. I probably still will after I actually play it, but I just haven't played it, and I'm not going to review it until I do, so. Surprisingly few Parker interact. Look at himself. Aw man, I don't want to end. Oh, the summon bombshell you don't get too often. It summons, you know, trash mobs to fight for you. It's pretty fun. I mean, it doesn't do anything, like, it doesn't change your controls at all, but it's kind of neat. I tried God Eater. I played the PS Plus one. The one that was on PS Plus. I think it was it was the one that they had to rename. Or not had to, but it was the one they pushed out and renamed. The PSP one. Brittany demands regular Mario. Yes, anytime, if Xseed is mad at me, I just have to post some regular Mario. I honestly was tempted to get Mario Maker just so I could post a bunch of regular Mario. If you're not familiar, I call the skinny Mario, like, when Skinny Mario from Mario Maker was first revealed, I just posted this thing, was like, hey, it's just me, regular Mario. Because he's like human proportions. So it's just regular human Mario, you know? It works better in text, but it was pretty funny. It got quite a few retweets, so that's not just me talking about myself. Sometimes people like my tweets. I've been told on numerous occasions that I make good tweets, and that is honestly a compliment I really enjoy. I have no idea which one of these mobs are my enemies. I've summoned so many, it's just all garbage. No, I will probably... I don't have Mario Maker. I like the idea, but I don't really like making my own levels, and I don't like the crazy hard levels. So, it's just not the sort of game that I would play on my channel or on my own. I would get it if it was, like, cheap. Do these girls have freckles? Hold on. That is my fetish. I thought I saw freckles. I guess not. You don't tend to see freckles in anime stuff, though, unfortunately. Sorry, I thought freckles. False alarm. I think it was just feathers I was seeing. They were good tweets. Yes, multiple people have told me I have good tweets, and that is a high honor, honestly. Just as my highest goal, I just really like to help people enjoy themselves and, you know, find cool things and help them make better things. You know, I just want everybody to be happy, and I want to make things that. It is so annoying that I don't know which one of these things are my friends or not. But I just want to make things that make people happy, and I want to help other people make, you know, happy things. And that's why I tried to showcase, you know, games that you might not have heard of, but that are really fun. Or, you know, that are really interesting and weird that you probably still didn't hear about. Are we done? Also, a complaint I have about this game, the graphics don't really do the butts justice. Like, Hibari is a character focused on the booty, and it doesn't really come across too well. Like, they do kind of alright with some of the animations and stuff, but, and they finally added butt jiggle, which is a very important feature. But you can definitely do better with the butts, and it's unfortunate. I know there's like a bust slider in Senran Kagura 2 DLC, but I don't really do too much with the customization. I like the idea of customization systems, but the reality is if I try to do something with it, I'm never going to be happy with what I make, and I'm going to spend like half an hour and then get frustrated and not actually use it. Or I'm just going to, you know, spam the random button, hope something looks human, and quit. Like, I got my fill with Oblivion. Like, just trying to make something vaguely human in Oblivion is a Herculean task. And I think that broke me, honestly, on character customizations. Even trying to make an Argonian that looks, you know, okay. Argonians are the lizard people, by the way. Even trying to make an Argonian look okay in that game was an exercise in frustration. Oblivion, a lot of people, you know, think it's best game ever. It kind of like ended the Elder Scrolls series for me, honestly. I played it after after Morrowind, and I had such high expectations, and I didn't enjoy myself, to say the least. Oblivion is a very divisive game. Like, I think people who played Oblivion as their first Elder Scrolls game, I think whatever your first Elder Scrolls game, it's like Pokemon or Final Fantasy. Whatever you played first, you're gonna think is the best thing ever. And I mean, I'm a little biased in that too. I think Morrowind is the best ever, but I think there are a lot of fairly objective, or, you know, as objective as you can get with, you know, video game quality. But there's a lot of really amazing stuff in Morrowind, and in the original too. You know, in Arena and Daggerfall also have a lot of really amazing, innovative, new stuff for the genre at the time. And Oblivion, it had some ideas on its own, but it did not cut it for me after Morrowind. There just wasn't going back after they decided they were gonna have a quest marker, because they stopped writing the quests. So if you never played Morrowind, it doesn't have the open world objective marker. So every quest is like, okay, if you go north from Balmora, there'll be a cave to your right. Go into that cave and, you know, take 3 branches to the left, and then take a right once you see a bloodied sign. And, you know, every quest was written so that you know, like a real human being was giving you instructions. And, you know, I hate to use the word, but it was immersive as all hell, and I had never played anything remotely like that. It was really amazing. And then I play Oblivion, and you just going straight to an arrow marker, and all the dungeons look a lot alike, and everything's a green field. It is so hard to get into Oblivion after. So Morrowind, you have swamps, you have the ashlands, you know, black wastelands, you know, dead trees and stuff. You have surreal like mushroom forests. You have the Telvanni landscape with crazy trees and structures. You have Solstheim. You know, you had an amazing variety of environments there, and all of it felt otherworldly and stuff. And then you go to Oblivion, and it's just green grasses and medieval fantasy. Like Oblivion had this, or Morrowind had this great otherworldly fantasy feel to it, where, you know, it was a little bit medieval, but it felt like a foreign planet with all of the crazy stuff. And Oblivion just feels like really tame Western fantasy in comparison. And it's just... And it didn't help that my main character in Morrowind was like a dragoon, and I had a maxed out jump stat and spears, and I loved the levitate spell. All of those things are removed in Oblivion. There's no spear, there's no levitate, there's no jump stat. Everything's very ground oriented. And levitate let you break a lot of stuff, but they also had some dungeons designed for levitate. So I think levitate was worth having. Like alternation was the best skill style or magic school. My throat's starting to feel a little scratchy, and we've gone through 2 chapters in about 2 hours. My streams are usually 2 hours, so I'll probably stream either tomorrow or like some other time this week. I do want to play, you know, I want to get through all the story of this, and I do need to play some Abzu though, and I have some other videos to get to. But I think I'm gonna call it a night. If you want to watch more Senran Kagura, there'll definitely be more though. This weekend though, I'll be playing Until Dawn. I actually haven't played that since I last live streamed it, so it'll all still be fresh to me. You can catch up on that on my YouTube channel if you haven't seen the rest of it. It's all recorded. I'm looking forward to getting back into that. There's some games that I really love, but I just end up putting down for assorted reasons, and I just don't get back to them. Get back to that. Daggerfall was ridiculous. I just missed the Daggerfall let you plead your own trial or something. Daggerfall actually had this hugely generated map, and everything was deterministic in Daggerfall. In Arena, everything outside of towns is randomly generated, so it's a little less impressive. I mean, I guess procedural generation at all at that point was interesting, but Daggerfall, it's all deterministic. So like, if you go someplace, it's always the same, and it's a gigantic map. Like, I think it's one of the biggest video game maps of all time, even now. It's way bigger than Oblivion, or than Skyrim too, but it's an actual country. I'm not sure why we even ended up talking about Elder Scrolls. It feels weird to be passionate about something where I haven't really played in a long time, but Morrowind just was really important to me, and I gotta be that grumpy old guy when it comes to Skyrim and stuff. Sorry. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in next time, I guess.